want to know what you were bookmarking in your core rulebook there.
Well, that's incorrect there, Stu, because it wasn't the core rulebook. It was a different book entirely.
Oh.
But, maybe you'll find out later.
Better copy of Reader's Wife.
Oh dear. Right. Welcome back, listeners, to Tales from the 20 Side, Pathfinder 2nd Edition Let's Play podcast. My name is Dom, and I'm your games master for this and for many other games on this podcast. I'm joined by our regular cast members of Mr. Stu Jackson.
Hello.
Mr. Neil Kelly.
Hi. And
Mr. Darren Mafucci.
Hello.
Good evening, gentlemen. How is everybody?
Yeah, good. Well, when this comes out, it'll be the end of November.
It will. Where's the year gone? I can't believe we're already thinking about Christmas and stuff.
2020 is just the year that never was.
Yes.
It has gone fast, I have to say. Time hasn't dragged for me.
Time's definitely not dragged, but I also can't point to having done much with it.
No, but I find by the time I've got up and sort of got myself sorted out and eaten some breakfast, I think, well, the day's half over. What should I do? I'll watch a movie, and then it's gone. And that's it.
Yeah.
It's evening.
Bit of a black hole.
Yeah.
So, what have you guys been up to the last week or so? I know Stu's been flexing his beard, as good old St. Nick.
I've been ho-ho-hoing.
And that's just what he doesn't sound
ho-ho-hos.
He hasn't told Catherine yet.
Have you been doing much of it, mate?
No, not a massive amount. It's more preparation work. So as much as this goes out at the end of November, hopefully by the time this goes out, I'll have done a bit. But
I saw your picture. You've gone for sort of Father Christmas as played by Roy Wood during his wizard era.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment or not, Neil.
It definitely is. Roy Wood is a personal hero of mine.
It's Father Christmas with his lockdown hairdo. So his hair's grown out a bit, and Mrs. Claus does keep telling him to get it cut, but he finds it's growing on him. Ho ho ho!
Da 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 da.
Listeners, a little treat for you there.
Very little.
Speaking of Christmas, and speaking of little treats, as we are about to go into December, I actually have an early Christmas present for all of you.
Ooh, exciting.
Now, what I'm going to do, so for the listeners' benefit, we will be posting this online somewhere. For the three of you, I'm going to do share screens. So, bear with me as I present to you.
Let's get a drum roll going.
Otto von Niederschlagen.
Oh,
wow.
And another drum roll.
Producing flame.
Producing flame, absolutely. Brother Amos.
Nice. Looking mean.
There we are with Brother Amos and his powerful fists. We have, this is kind of a Christmas present to myself, Alwyn.
Excellent.
And
Chardonnay, yes. And the never-ending tankard. No, never-ending stein, isn't it?
That's it.
And of course, where would we be without our very own Domjum Master?
Oh no!
These are very good.
The artwork itself is fantastic. Stu, why don't you tell us who's created those lovely pieces?
This is Simon Brumat, known as Psy Monstrous Art. You can find him for all sorts of things. I've been working with him. Well, I say working with him. He's the one been doing the actual work, but producing these, I think they're absolutely fantastic. So thank you, Simon.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, Simon. That's our first piece of fan art, I believe, isn't it?
It is. Well, they're commissioned, so Simon takes commissions. So I got them commissioned, and this is my early Christmas present to you all.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
That is lovely. Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you, dude.
Thank you very much to Stu, and thank you very much to Simon for creating that incredible work.
Absolutely. So we'll be posting that online, presumably on everything, I would have thought.
Yes. Check all your social medias when this episode goes out. They'll be there somewhere for you to enjoy.
Yes, I think we'll avoid putting them out before the episode.
That's probably for the best. Lovely stuff. So, with all that said, are we ready to crack back on with the game itself?
Absolutely.
The game itself.
All right. Okay. So, bringing us back into our game, our adventurers, Otto von Niederschläger, Alwyn Templeton, and Brother Amos, have been making their way through the land of Irison in pursuit of a couple of things. They're looking for a way to close down the winter portal that is threatening to spread snow and ice across the whole of their homeland of Taldor, and they are also kind of on the trail of Baba Yaga, who is the queen of all witches, for various reasons. They have found their way to a place known as the Pale Tower, which is a stronghold of sorts where the local witches kind of rule over the land itself, and it also appears to be where this ritual is being powered from. You've gone there in the hopes of speaking with Radosek, the current master of the tower, in a hope to come to some kind of accord and perhaps get your friend Nadia, who had assisted you en route to Waldsby, released from his custody. You made your way into the tower. You talked your way past. Well, you talked your way into the tower itself, and were set upon by a number of the Pale Tower Guard, who were ordered to arrest you by Radosek himself. After a short skirmish in which the three of you got the upper hand quite noticeably, Radosek called off the guard and decided instead to invite you up to his chambers where you could talk personally with him. And you were led upstairs by the captain of the guard. You encountered a few familiar faces and at least one that you weren't expecting to see on your way up. You briefly reunited with the bard Myril Ardline, who had shared your fire with you on your way to Waldsby, and as you were being led towards Radosek's chamber properly, you were all startled by the appearance of your longtime companion Lady Argentia in the corridor. However, she did not seem to recognise you, and with a haughty huff disappeared inside her own bedchamber. Leaving this alone for the time being, as you were being essentially frog-marched by the captain of the guard, you were led to Radosek himself, where you started to parley. You went back and forth with him for a little bit, and eventually gave him the information that the individual he was seeking, the Black Rider, had died. You gave him this information in the hopes of getting him to release Nadia, but it seems that this didn't satisfy Radosek. He wanted something more, and after a little bit of magic use, he seemed to know. He seemed to believe that you had some objects that he was looking for in pursuit of the Black Rider, and giving you an ultimatum was to hand these items over or be left to rot in the tower. A scuffle ensued. You slew Radosek's goat, Familiar, which vanished into a puff of smoke, but this bought Radosek himself enough time to disappear out of one of the doors of a tower, out of sight, taunting you as he did so that only he knew how to let you out. And yes, that brings us back into where we are. So the three of you, the door to the east of this top floor of the tower has just sort of been closed behind Radosek. What would the three of you like to do?
Alwyn will rush straight over to the door and open it.
Right. When you rush over towards the door that you saw Radosek disappearing through, you don't see Radosek standing behind it, but you do find yourself moving into looks to be quite a large bedroom. You can see that there's a large bed against one of the walls, along with a wardrobe and a reading desk, and a bookshelf taking up most of the rest of the space in this circular room. Across from the bed, you can see that there is a small alcove, next to which is a statue made of ice of a striking robed woman with an owl on her shoulders. And inside this alcove itself, you can see some familiar crystalline tiles, and standing upon which you see Radosek encased in ice.
Like to drop the rapier, draw the bow, and fire an arrow at the ice.
All right, just roll damage for me.
Okay, that's D8. 7.
7. Okay. You loose the arrow, and it strikes the ice. There is a resounding cracking sound. And you think for a second that you must have shot straight through this ice, but you look up and the ice is untouched. However, the arrow has shattered. As you see this, you see Radosek's form, still fixing you with a steely glare, begins to disappear from the head downwards, and after a few seconds, he is completely gone, along with the ice that was there.
So when you said he was disappearing from the head down, do you mean it was like going in a lift, or that he was just fading away?
He was kind of fading away.
Right.
It's in a transporter. A Star Trek transporter.
Yes.
So hope it doesn't come a cropper to the Heisenberg principle. Okay. Go back. Have we got Nadia out the room?
You have not. You recall that Nadia was locked in one of the rooms that led off from this central chamber of the tower.
Right. And that door is locked, is it?
That door was re-locked by Radosek after he had shown you that she was alive and well.
Brother Amos, you're quite good with, muscly things. Can you
break
have a
something
go at the door?
You want me to fist something?
Yes,
we need you
please.
to break something.
Okay. So I assume Brother Amos is going to try and punch a hole through the door.
You can do so. Give me a strength. Give me an athletics roll, please, Brother Amos.
Punch a hole through it. Here's Amos.
18.
18. Okay. The door is fairly sturdily made, but you see that the wood itself is not too thick. It takes you a minute or so to do so, but with a huff and a puff, you are able to buckle the door just enough off of its hinges to get kind of both hands behind it, and then between the three of you, you haul it open, and there's a crash as the door is flung open, and you see sat in this sort of unused, slightly dusty bedroom. You see Nadia.
Hello.
Hi, Alwyn. Good to see ya. What's going on? Where's Radosek?
He's run away. Coward that he is.
Run away.
We overwhelmed him.
That bastard. Shite. Well, what now then?
Gosh, well, we need to find something called a cauldron that's here.
We've achieved the first part of our plan. We are alone and unattended in the middle of the White Tower. That is what we wanted to be.
Alwyn, just give me a wisdom roll quickly.
Okay. 4.
Don't worry.
That's always good advice. Don't worry.
Okay. As you lead Nadia back out of the room she was contained in, you sort of take stock of the room once again from where you're in. Around the outside of this circular chamber, you can see that there are more bookshelves and desks, some of which seem to be scattered with books and notebooks, that sort of thing. To the west, there is another wooden door that looks very similar to the one that you've just wrestled off of its hinges. And to the south, you do see an alcove built into the side of the tower that also houses yet more bookshelves, as well as some shelves that seem to contain various objects. And those are all arranged around what looks to be a large metal cauldron.
Could we be that lucky? We've lived such bad lives. We couldn't be so lucky, could we?
Well, before we try that, let's have a quick look at what these other items are and what's through this other door.
Okay. So, which would you like to do first?
Check the door first.
Go to the door first. Okay. The door itself is actually unlocked. And it opens inwards, and you find yourself in a very similar triangular-shaped bedroom to the one that you just found Nadia in. Except this one's a fair bit nicer. Once again, there's a large bed along with a reading desk, quite a nice padded chair and a bookshelf furnish the room itself. There's a chest, a storage chest, sort of tucked into one of the corners. And perhaps most surprisingly, there are several paintings around the walls of this chamber, and they seem to be a curious mix of some of them are most of them are paintings of wintry landscapes, sort of forest in the snow, that kind of thing. But what perhaps might surprise you is that there is one painting that is again of a landscape, but seems to be much more of an autumn landscape, sort of vibrant reds and golds of the leaves decorating the forest floor.
We meant to read something into this, that they know what autumn looks like, or they know what spring looks like. It is autumn, isn't it?
That one looks like autumn, but why would someone who's so dedicated to winter have an autumn picture?
It's a good question. Maybe we are reading too much into it.
Maybe, but just for the sake of it, can I have a look behind the picture?
You can. The picture lifts off the wall easily enough. It's a fairly large picture. You need your arms almost at full stretch to pick up and lift it off. But you lift it off, and there is just a wall behind it.
Oh, that's a shame. I was hoping it would be on a hinge and there'd be a safe or something.
Mm.
Oh well. Anything on the writing desk of interest, or on the bookshelves?
On the writing desk and the bookshelves. So the bookshelves sort of have various books on magical theory and all that sort of thing. The writing desk is completely clear. You see that there is a few sheets of parchment and an ink pot, sort of seemingly ready for use. It's a very tidily kept bedroom. But you do notice there is a drawer on the writing desk.
Open that drawer. Oh, check that drawer for traps.
All right. What stat do I use for traps? I can't remember.
Perception, isn't it?
You are correct at perception.
My perception score is 7 if you are going to be doing the roll
Okay. Yes.
secretly.
That's what I'm doing. All right, Alwyn. As you go to open this drawer, you do see just a faint shimmer of arcane light around the gap between the drawer and the rest of the desk.
Oh, is anyone good at disarming traps? Looking for thievery skills.
Yes.
Thievery.
Excellent. Yes.
Yes.
No, I'm not very good at thievery.
No. Alright, Amos, can you have a look at this then, please?
Of course. Are you rolling for that, Dom, or am I rolling for it?
No, if I could have you roll for thievery, please. I believe you can do it as... are you trained in thievery?
Yeah.
You are, okay. Then it's regardless anyway, don't worry. Roll that thievery check.
And 12.
Ooh, 12, okay. Yeah, you're sort of fiddling around gently with the lock itself. With the drawer itself. You're trying to find a way maybe to get into the arcane sigil itself. And as you're doing so, you knock the drawer and it pops open ever so slightly. There is a flash of light and a blast of freezing air washes over the three of you. I need everybody to give me a reflex save, please.
Okay. And can I also use Liberating Step on Amos?
Yes, you can.
Okay. So that's 19 reflex from Alwyn.
Okay.
10 from Otto.
13.
Okay.
Do you need one from Chardonnay?
I'm assuming Chardonnay was left in the main chamber. If that's different, then yes, please.
Yeah, no, Chardonnay could just be, quite happily.
Just because this is, although this room is fairly large, there's a lot of stuff, so it'd be very crowded with Chardonnay in there.
Okay.
I think
Makes sense for Chardonnay to be in there.
Alright, so we had 19 for Alwyn.
Yep.
It was 13 for Amos.
Yeah.
And 10 for Otto.
10 for Otto.
Okay.
Poor old Otto.
As this light flashes out and you feel this burst of freezing air, you all feel a sharp pain in your flesh as you once again see a shower of ice shards blast out from the writing desk. Alwyn, you take 7 points of cold damage as you manage to get out of the way of the worst of it. Brother Amos and Otto, you each take 14 points of cold damage as these ice shards slam into you.
Brother Amos only takes 9. Because of the Liberating Step.
I bear the brunt.
Yeah, sorry, I can only do it to one person. And he was the one opening the drawer, so you know. That was my logic. It was nothing personal.
But after the worst of this ice blast past you, the room falls silent for a second after that, and you see contained within this drawer there is a leather-bound diary.
Let's examine it.
Okay, anything else? Any false bottoms in the drawer?
Let me have a look for you. You inspect the bottom of the drawer, Alwyn, and you see no false bottom.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you, Amos. You've won a prize.
Is it some medicine? Because I'm feeling quite peaky.
It's not, but we can address that. No, you've won a diary. Here it is. Maybe you might want to have a look at that. I'll look at patching you both up.
Okay,
and
so
myself.
Brother Amos will have a read
That will
of
be
the
much
diary.
appreciated.
Right. You start looking into this diary, Brother Amos, and it's written in quite an authoritative hand. And from the way it talks, in the first few pages, you gather that this is the diary of Radosek himself.
I mean, anything I read, I will read out loud.
Sure.
So everyone can hear it.
You sort of flick through a few pages. It seems that this diary sort of starts from quite some time ago, and so as you realise this, you flick towards the back of the diary to try and see the more recent entries, and you flick to a point that's dated about a week and a half ago from the current date, and you see a number of entries. And the first entry you see reads as follows: "It seems Rokar has turned on us. Izos tells me she conducted a snap inspection of the High Sentinel Lodge and discovered not only that our prisoner was missing, but also that Rokar was holding one of her own people hostage. In retaliation for this treachery, Ted Norton is moving to exterminate Rokar's overconfident rabble. Why Jaina ever believed they could be useful to us is beyond me, though I suppose even one as immaculate as she has her imperfections." Would you like to continue reading?
Whilst he is reading, I'm going to patch him up as best I can.
Alright, roll those medicine checks. The next entry you read, Brother Amos, is as follows: "More details from Izos. Apparently there's been some ongoing interference from a group of 3 capable locals, and I suspect their actions could have emboldened the bandit to cross us. We'll need to monitor the situation as it develops, but with any luck Izos should already have it taken care of. The loss of the prisoner is problematic, but not catastrophically so. Once Jaina returns and we're able to consolidate our strength in Taldor, we can track her down and make the switch as planned. I'm told Garthek is progressing adequately with their studies." Okay, that ends that entry. Do you continue reading?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a 25 on the treat wounds.
Oh, lovely.
So I'm just trying to work out. That's a critical success, isn't it?
It is, yes. So it's 48.
48.
The next entry, we seem to be getting into much more recent. Like these are all within the last sort of 4 or 5 days. Now you see them. The next entry reads as follows: "We've lost contact with Teb Norton. The last report we received from him indicated that the same 3 foreigners returned to meddle in our affairs again, and destroyed Izos' strike force in the process. If they're as capable as they seem, it's possible that the troll was overwhelmed, but whilst Jaina is away, I can't spare any additional resources, not without risking the security of the tower itself. To make matters worse, Black Midnight slipped through our fingers again. A detachment of the Winter Touched had him surrounded, but he was able to break free before bolting in the direction of the portal and vanishing. I dread having to report this to Jaina. Hopefully we find a new lead before she checks in again, and hopefully the Queen is keeping her occupied enough that won't be for a while yet." There's 3 more entries after this. The next one is as follows.
So before we do, Owen is going to say, so it sounds like we've got some allies, some other adventurers. I mean, she mentioned some capable ones, so, that's...
that will come in very handy, yes.
It's going to be really useful. Amos, you get 22 hit points back, by the way.
Oh, excellent.
How's Otto looking?
Fairly at a low ebb. I'm on about a third now of my
Okay, I'll start the treat wounds on Otto as well then,
Thank
please.
you.
Okay. The next entry in the diary reads as follows: "When Jaina returns, I must press upon her the urgency of dealing with Captain Orlov. Her instincts are sharp, perhaps too sharp. I'm not entirely certain how, given that no records of orb effects exist in this tower, but Hestrick has learned not only that that dragon's blood runs in her veins, but also that Jaina's mother was the one who slew it. I don't yet know what she intends to do with this information, but I suddenly find myself questioning her loyalty. However, having her reassigned without Jaina's approval is out of the question. We're short-handed enough already, and she remains a formidable tool in our arsenal, assuming she can be trusted.
Otto gets 11 hit points back, by the way.
Okay.
11 hit points.
11
points. The penultimate entry in the diary, Brother Amos, as you continue to flick through the pages, is as follows. Oh goody. Jaina's latest informant has graced us with her presence, and she's as insufferably smug as ever. I find the Folaran tiresome, but I can't deny her knack for sniffing out good information. She tells me that she got caught in a blizzard on her way here, and weathered it with another group of travellers. Among these travellers were 3 individuals who made no secret of the fact that they had travelled to Irison from far away. I refuse to believe that this is a coincidence, especially after the portal alerted me to unauthorised use nary a day ago. They must be the same 3 mentioned in previous reports, and if so, they must also have encountered Black Midnight. Why else would they have crossed into Irison if not to aid him in some way? Thanks to Myril, we have an excellent idea of what these travellers look like and even their names. The Bard believes they are headed to Waldsby. I'll warn the Gaultievers to keep an eye out. And the final entry before the diary continues into blank pages is as follows. Ardline's hunch was correct. Katrina made contact a short while ago and reported the arrival of 3 strangers in Waldsby. 3 strangers who matched the Bard's description perfectly. It seems they were being escorted by the Petska woman, so at first light I'll have Satani and his patrol head down there and root them out for questioning. This is a breakthrough, I can feel it. It's surely only a matter of time now before we find the rider and recover the keys he stole. Jaina will be overjoyed when I tell her. Perhaps it will even mean she can return from Whitethrone. And that is all that the diary contains.
That is all the diary contains.
Okay.
Looks like we were rumbled right from the start. Before we even came here.
Interesting.
Our arrival was anticipated somewhat.
For the record, after treating Otto, Alwyn is treating himself.
Okay, no worries.
So that's like half an hour.
Using half an hour to kind of do this for yourselves.
Yeah. And then he'd like to spend 10 minutes communing with Caden Gailey, and so we're on to 40 minutes.
Okay. As you finish the end of the half an hour, or when before you get to that, there is you see the mirror in the main chamber begins to fog with some kind of coalescence. A dark shape appears in it, and as it clears, you see the face of Radosek once again. Well, now, how do you like the tower?
Oh, not you again.
Oh no, we're trapped. No way out. What will we do? Bye.
Come now, don't be so unreasonable.
No, you've been a dick.
Yes, I agree. A total dick.
Excuse me, if I recall correctly, you are the ones who attacked me. I was merely asking for something that belongs to me, which you have.
No, don't have it.
Oh, but you do.
You didn't believe us.
But you do. You do have it.
Prove it.
Oh, you already did.
No.
Very well. Well, we can do this It seems you wish to do this the hard way. I shall simply wait until the three of you have all starved to death, and then I will come and take it from your cold dead bodies. How does that sound? Or,
yeah, okay.
Or you give me the items I'm seeking, and I'll let you all go.
I'm not giving you anything.
Yes, do you mind if we just confer for a moment? So chaps, we'll get into a kind of a huddle. So, which of us is going to tell him to piss off?
You do it so eloquently. But do we have a plan for getting out of here? And what is it we have to throw in the cauldron again? Because I think we're close.
We don't know what he can hear.
Oh, right.
Shh.
Well, he seems to have monitored us quite closely for some time, so I assume he knows everything.
Brother Amos, you're a man of few words. Now's a good time to exercise them, I think.
Okay.
You only need 2. Perfect.
Yes.
Succinct and to the point.
Here, says all of us.
All right. I'll be back in an hour or so. Maybe 2, maybe 3.
Why are you still talking? Off you fuck. Go on.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Yes, we all know we'll have starved to death in 3 hours from now.
I was going to say he's a bit of an idiot, isn't he? Even I know it takes longer than that to starve to death. Where were you educated, Radosek?
I'm not stupid. I know it takes longer than that to die of starvation. However, in a couple of hours' time, after you've had a period to sit here and stew, you might reconsider. See you soon.
We might.
And he disappears from the mirror.
Shall we just smash the mirror?
And then dash the stuff in the cauldron.
Yes, let's do that. And then job done.
I mean, you say about a plan to get out. I think getting the stuff in the cauldron. Also, we can always see if we can remember what it was that that guard lady said in that language thingy. That was sort of like common, but not quite.
Oh, yes.
I don't remember.
Who'd be good at remembering something like that?
No, not me.
I suspect one of you will be better than me.
Yeah.
That looks like we're fucked then, doesn't it?
No, I have no memory of what did she say?
Is there some sort of role we can take for this, Dom?
Yeah, the 3 of you can make wisdom rolls.
Okay.
$17.
Yeah, 17.
11.
Yeah, the 3 of you don't recall the words that were said.
Bugger. Nadia, you didn't happen to hear them, did you? The words to activate the
words.
Thingy.
Can't say I did. Huh. No, I was listening quite closely at the door. She definitely didn't say anything when she were leaving. I don't know if there's a code or something she said to get you up here, but she certainly didn't say it to get out.
Right. Okay. Well, not to worry, because when, we put the things into the cauldron, Baba Yaga comes here, and then she'll get us out. It'll be fine. It's her castle. So, yeah. It'll all be good. That's the plan. All our plans come to fruition, so yes.
Okay. So what's the intention here, Alwyn? What are you doing?
I'm going to wait for presumably Amos, who has the keys, to pop them in the cauldron.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh,
Okay. You approach the cauldron, Brother Amos, and as you do so, you get a better look at the items that are on these shelves around it. You see what looks to be flasks of liquid of various size. There's a few stone stone-looking spheres, and you also see what looks to be kind of almost black bags that, if you didn't know better, it looks like they're kind of full of berries or something viscous. And as you approach the cauldron itself, you do find that the cauldron is kind of mostly full with a liquid that is almost as clear as water, but has a fairly sweet smell to it. Does anybody here have alchemical crafting?
No.
alchemical crafting. I don't. Alchemical crafting.
It'll be under your feet if you do.
You'd be trained in crafting to start with. So if you're not trained in crafting, you definitely won't.
I mean, I'm trained in crafting, but I don't have it.
But alchemical crafting is a feat you can take when you're trained in crafting.
No, I'm not trained in crafting.
Okay.
Okay, Brother Amos, as you do have a bit of background with crafting, you can see that whilst you don't have a whole lot of experience with alchemy and with making this sort of thing, the substance in the cauldron does look very much like a batch of something, like a potion or maybe an elixir, that is almost but not quite complete.
Okay. You said there was berries lying around.
Yes, there are bags that kind of look like they have, for lack of a better term, is berries. As you pick one of these up, Brother Amos, assuming that's what you want to do, it's got a bit of a viscous texture to it. It's quite sticky to the touch, and as you pick this up, you recognise this as a lesser tanglefoot bag.
Lesser tanglefoot. What's a lesser tanglefoot?
Lesser tanglefoot bag. So a tanglefoot bag is an object that gets thrown, that you can throw at someone, and it acts like an adhesive. It slows them down.
Oh, okay.
You've seen Otto do a similar thing with one of his spells.
Right. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm going to pop that in my backpack, or in my pocket, or whatever.
That's fine. Is it just that you want to take? As mentioned, there's quite a few. There's quite a few other alchemical-looking items that are kind of stashed onto these shelves.
I think we should all take some goodies.
Right. What else is there?
So as you look around these shelves, you find, as mentioned, quite a lot. So if somebody wants to write this down, decide how you split it up at some point, do so. There are 2 moderate frost vials, 3 lesser acid flasks, 3 lesser alchemist's fires, including the one you've already got, Brother Amos. There are 2 lesser tanglefoot bags. There is also 3 lesser thunderstones, 3 lesser smoke sticks, 1 sun rod, 2 applications of like an oil known as silver sheen, and 10 tinder twigs in a decorative canister. Okay, so once you've kind of cleaned these shelves off, what would you like to do?
Amos, you're up. It's your big moment.
What were we doing? Yeah, the things in the cauldron.
All right, you take out the Plague Doctor mask and the lock of frost giant hair that you obtained from Ilverian Matavius.
Drenched in his blood.
Drenched in his blood, now dried, of course. You hold them both over the cauldron, and you just drop them in.
Yes.
All right. You think to yourself for a second as to whether or not you should be saying some magic words or anything crazy like that. Eventually, you decide not to because you don't know anyway, and you don't know any anyway. And there is a splash as these two items drop into the liquid.
Job done.
Right, off home then.
And you find yourself looking at it for a minute, for 2 minutes. You shift your weight uncomfortably.
Bugger.
3 minutes. 4 minutes.
Well, we did what we were told. You know, that perhaps it takes longer for these things to work.
After 5 minutes, you start thinking to yourselves that maybe this isn't the right cauldron. And then you have a realization. The cauldron that you were thinking of beforehand is located in Baba Yaga's dancing hut.
Baba Yaga's dancing hut.
Wrong cauldron.
Wrong cauldron. Okay.
Fish them out again.
Fish them out.
You do so. The liquid in the cauldron is fairly warm, but not boiling hot. You're able to retrieve those items without any incident.
Good job it wasn't, a cauldron of acid splash or anything like that, isn't it? That would have been unfortunate. Okay. Right, Alwyn's going to start poking around inside one of these elevatory things.
Right. Just to remind you, in case you've forgotten, in the centre of this large chamber, there is a glowing ball of blue light that resembles a globe. And it's fairly large, so your characters wouldn't have forgotten that. That is kind of sat there in the centre.
It's floating, or...?
It's floating above what looks to be a series of magic glyphs that have been carved into the floor.
Okay. Is it floating above the cauldron?
No. It's floating in the centre of the room. The cauldron is in an alcove off to the south.
Right, okay. I think it's pretty obviously magical. Would recognise spell do anything?
Recognise spell would not. However, give me a survival roll.
11.
11. Okay. As you look at the globe, you can see that there are. It seems to have lines drawn around it that seem to make quite irregular shapes. Some are long, some are fatter, some are a bit circular, some have shapes within shapes. And you also see that there are little pinpricks of light sort of bursting out from spots all over this thing.
Very, very attractive, very appealing.
I'm gonna get my spear out and poke it.
Okay. Are you poking it anywhere in particular, or are you just poking it?
No, just poking it.
All right. As you prod the globe with your spear, Alwyn, it passes through one of these points of light, and as it passes through the points of light, you see that a little box pops up, kind of above this point of light, that has a word inside it.
Is the word in common?
The word is in common. The word is Absalom, which you would recognise as a city far to the south.
Yes, they call it the city at the centre of the world. Oh, I wonder if this is something to do with the portals. Maybe this controls the portals. Didn't someone say recently that there are other I think it was Radosek said there are other portals? Lots of portals all over the world.
He did.
So this is clearly what's controlling the portals.
It's reasonable to assume that.
So shall we destroy it? Take us a while to get home if we do, but we will be able to at least. Better to have a home to go to, I suppose.
Yes. Destroy it.
Yeah. I've got a thought. This is ice portals in an ice palace from an ice witch thing.
There's a theme emerging here, I think.
There is. And what do you use against ice, Otto?
An axe.
Gin.
Yes, you're known for your axe work. Yes.
Salt.
Salt.
Do I have salt?
I'm thinking maybe, you can, throw one of your famous fireballs at it.
Well, I haven't thrown a fireball for a while.
Oh, it's supposed to be all 10 minutes.
Yes. Yes, why don't I throw a fireball?
Shall we all get out of the way and maybe do this at range? As much range as possible. In fact, we'll hide perhaps as far away.
In a different city.
Yeah. Maybe Absalom. Yes. So, am I right in thinking Otto's range is 30 foot?
I think that's my range, yes.
Is there somewhere I can hide, behind a wall or something, but be within 15 foot of Otto?
You could do. You would need to kind of put yourself into one of the bedrooms, just tucked behind the door, but you could do so.
Okay, I'd like to do that, and kind of ready an action, as it were, if it goes tits up and the thing blows up. I want to use Liberating Step on Otto.
Alright, that's fine. You don't ready a reaction. The reaction just kind of happens anyway, so...
Yeah, okay.
But I get what you're saying.
We're anticipating.
Yeah,
this could go
just in
horribly
case.
wrong.
Well, it might blow up. That's what I'm thinking. Yes, and Amos, if you can take Nadia and Chardonnay somewhere
yes,
nice and
that.
safe.
Alright. So you all take positions kind of bravely hiding behind the walls of this tower. As Otto, you conjure up a familiar ball of fire between your fingertips, and with a motion, a singular swooshing motion, you flick the ball of fire towards the globe. As it hits the globe, you see a number of these pinpricks of light all light up and display various names in boxes. The fireball passes through the globe, passes through the other side of the globe, where you see more of these names pop up, and then it slams into the wall on the far side of the chamber.
That's not what I expected.
And you watch as after a second, the names that had popped up above these pinpricks of light sort of begin to fade away.
Did I have time to note any of the names?
They're fairly small. You'd need to be fairly close in order to read them.
And I didn't have my reading glasses. So.
But you're getting the sense that this is not a solid object. This is more of a, in real world terms, we consider it to be a hologram. But it seems to respond to touch.
Right. Okay, that was a thought. Go
It's
along
worth a
and
try.
put out any fire that might have happened on the bookcases or whatever.
Yeah, there's one of the bookcases that is just smouldering a little bit. You quickly pat it down before it.
We should leave it burning and melt the tower.
We are in the tower. We haven't got an easy way out just yet.
Melt a hole in the wall with the fire.
But a big fire will, yes, it could well feature burning books.
That may... Ooh, gosh, don't like the idea of that. But yes, it may come to burning holes, yes. Gonna have another look at this globe. Does it look like a representation of Galarian?
Now that you've kind of seen, you've seen the word Absalom, which is the name of a city that you know of, you take a second just to lightly tap other pinpricks of light around the globe, and you do see the name of other cities that you've heard of. You see Magnamar, you see Kintargo, you see Rahadum, where Alwyn first learned his healing arts.
Yeah.
You see Apara, capital of Taldor. You see a small place called Sandpoint on the western tip of Avestan.
Right. Okay, so it's just a representation, but it's But see, I said we'd be saving the world, and look, we're saving the world. Right. Okay. Any thoughts?
I'm at a loss.
Yes, I am.
See if we can get out of here and find that Myra along the way so we can kill her.
Ah, yes. Good thinking.
Yes. Now we know she's been a bitch. Okay. Gonna examine that lift then, or the transporter pad or whatever.
Just as you're stepping away from the globe, Alwyn, you hear a familiar voice coming from the direction of the mirror. Ah, yes. Rather beautiful, isn't it?
Fuck off.
I tell you what. I know beforehand I said I didn't care much for your other reasons for being here, but I've an offer for you. You give me the items I'm seeking, and in return, I will close down the winter portal connecting to Taldor. And that's where we're going to end for tonight, folks.
Ooh.
Well, he's...
I was just going to slip in one more fuck off.
He's desperate, isn't he? He is desperate.
Tales from the 20side is a Fiegel Films production in association with Juicy Falls. Music by Nazar Ryback from hooksounds.com. Editing by Stu Jackson. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram by searching Tales from the 20 Side or by visiting talesfromthe20side.com.